I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness.
Welcome to the Welcome to the 3-on-3 podcast. That's right, you're tuned into the number one basketball podcast in the universe. I'm joined with my amigos, my compadres, my boy Ev is here. I got my boy Lou. What it do? And we have the Pod Mamba who's in the background, making sure that we continue to be the number one basketball podcast in the universe.
Hans,
Yes.
I know you about to say your classic. We have a great store show for you guys. I don't know why you acting like any of us matter.
None of us matter right now because
we know exactly where this show is going. You know, listeners, I know you love to hear his voice. That silky smooth voice that lets us know that we about to get into it. But we all know the truth. Hans, rip the bandage off.
we should let F start the show, is what you're saying.
Not yet.
No. Because we at least have to get our voices in.
There we go. And then we should have just let Ev run the show.
So you guys got it all wrong, you see, because the great part of an amazing story is you want to get everybody's vantage point from it, you know. So we've got time to get where everybody is sitting and coming from and feeling on this magic carpet ride. So let's do it. Let's talk.
Magic carpet ride. Good Mike Breen reference. I love that, man. You're a true homer. You're a true homer, man.
Hello.
So yeah, we do have a great show in store. We'll be breaking down the past two games as we're presently recording, with the Knicks up 2-0 on the Spurs, and then we'll kind of go into what each team needs to do. And then we'll wrap it up with what this means to each city, right? A championship or a loss. And moving forward, what does this mean? And the significance of this NBA championship. But let's start off with these past two games, guys. The Knicks went into San Antonio and they came away 2-0. Given that they were the lower seed team, they now fully have home court advantage. And it is really something that I know we didn't predict. Well, I didn't predict it here on the podcast. I don't think even Ev predicted them pulling away the first two games, really. I think the goal for most fans were to kind of maybe split one, especially if you're underdog. But Ev has his bravado going. We'll see what he has to say on that one. But let's focus on game one. So game one, first game of the NBA Finals, the jitters. It started off, to me, it was a good game one. They were going back and forth. San Antonio went up 14 at one point, but then the Knicks came roaring back, staying focused, and then Jalen Brunson was who he has always been all year, as Ev says, that fourth quarter specialist. Mr. Clutch himself came through in the fourth quarter, and basically, I think he scored 8 straight in game one in the fourth. Was it 8 or 11? I'm
8
unsure.
straight.
It was 8 straight. I was
overall.
about to say 13 overall, but it was 8 straight.
Okay, 13 overall, but 8 straight from Brunson for sure. I remember that for sure. Basically getting you guys to the first win of the finals. Then number two, started off strong again. Guys going back and forth. Actually, couple little scares. Yeah, Jalen Brunson had a couple injuries. Went back to the locker room.
Game one, man.
Yeah. Went back to the locker room, but came back in true fashion. They were going back and forth, but the Knicks, in my opinion, were a little dominant on this one. They went up, 15? You guys went up 15 or 17?
Well, remember, game one was the injuries.
Yep.
Game two was
game one was the injuries.
Right.
Game two
Yep.
was
game two abbreviated, kind of abbreviation of game one, right? So
Exactly.
Game one, Spurs at what? Knicks come out, get a quick lead.
Yep.
Spurs put the clamps
Back and
down
forth,
for
back and
about
forth,
two
back and forth.
quarters. They get up, like you said, up to about 14. And
Yep.
then we start walking them down in the third. Game
Mhm.
two, kind of
Opposite.
similar. Well, kind of similar from the sense that Spurs jump out to a
That's what
lead.
I'm saying. In
I
terms of
want to
opposite, yep.
say 12-ish they got it up to, but we walked them down in the second
Mm-hmm.
and then expanded it out in the third, got up to 14 in the fourth before the Spurs
Made that
14-0
run.
run, tie
Yep.
it up, and then we have the excitement of the last 90 seconds of the game.
Yeah,
Got
I'm
you.
sure. I'm sure you can't wait to talk about that, but we'll let you rock.
Listen, man, I'll go wherever y'all want me to go, man.
No, so
As an
going
exclusive
into it,
offer.
we'll go off from your perspective as first as the resident Knicks fan and expert. Given these two games, what are your what's the morale on the Knick fandom side? How are you guys feeling? What are you guys seeing after these two games?
Well, I mean, morale is at an all-time high right now, and we'll talk later about how the city's doing, how the city's feeling, and what this would mean. But coming into the series, I'm looking around at everybody who said the JV conference is playing the big boys now, right? And I think we've stepped on that narrative already. Um, what we've been coming into this series, 11 straight wins coming into this series was a perspective of just offense and defensive intensity and symmetry that, I felt coming in that we'd be competitive in this series, that we'd be able to establish ourselves. But this series has been incredible. I'm not gonna lie. If you're a neutral observer of basketball,
That's it.
the intensity from both sides has been astounding. The
Yeah, I agree.
intensity of the environment has been
Agree.
incredible. So I'm not, if you're a neutral observer, you've enjoyed what you've seen from a basketball
Yeah,
standpoint.
this is gonna be a product, bro. Yo, 10 or under in terms of, and realistically, even game one is deceptive in terms of the box score. And box score because we know how very much in terms of the last 20 seconds, free throws will change, where you could be, the game end score is up 10, 105, 90. But that doesn't reflect realistically how tight it was up until that point. So
Well,
I agree with you in terms of the fact that, yeah, if you want a good product of the NBA, this is the best that they could bank for in a very long time. So you have the intensity that you gotta give it, bro. These games they're not
So
runaways.
follow me. I guess I'm in
San
between.
Antonio and
I'm in
OKC,
between. I'm
they
in
were
between.
blowouts.
Yes, these have been great games, but also I'm greedy. I'm greedy. So y'all know I have no real dog in this race, right? No real dog.
and we're
I'm
gonna talk
greedy.
about that later. You should, but keep going.
I have ulterior motives. I want the most basketball because there's gonna be no more basketball up until October.
Oh,
So if
handle that.
you're if you're if you're like me, don't get me wrong, it's been exciting too. But if it's over in 4,
Who says it's
this is
over
the
in
last
4 though?
week.
Who says it's
You
over
get
in
what I'm
4?
saying? This is the last week.
Who
So
says it's
I
over in
get
4
what you're saying.
though?
You're cool. Yeah, you have these exciting games, but if it's over in 4, was it that really cool?
But is
Or
it
would you?
over in 4?
I'm just
Let me
saying
just say real quick, bro.
because Ev wants it to be
I've
over in
never
4.
been
Of
so.
course,
I've
he
never
doesn't want.
rooted harder for basketball to be over with quickly. It's
Why
not
I
would
like
told you. I
because
told
Ev
you.
no, no, hold on. In Ev Hart, he says, yo,
I
if
don't want
this,
to see no more
if
basketball. I want to see 2 more games in this
I
Ev
told
season.
know
Be
you.
in his heart,
done with.
he says, yo, if I have to see a game 6,
I
Listen,
picked Knicks in 6. I'm not worried about that.
he picked
Not
Knicks
worried
in
about
6. He didn't. You weren't here last though, but he did. But I'm just like Ev because if Portland was in there, 4 and out. Let's get it. Let's get it going. 4
no,
wins and
what
go
I think.
home.
I think we're
Let's
all
go.
saying something very, very similar here. That underlying tone of what we're saying, if we're reading between the lines, is don't give San Antonio any life. You have the experience over them. Don't give them life. Do not give the alien an inkling that he has any advantage on Earth. Because
But
So
let's
let me.
talk about it though,
Yeah,
or
because
don't give
yep.
Cat.
but let's talk about this. So you said don't give San Antonio the life. Is San Antonio really dead?
They're
Well,
not.
let me
The
talk
reason why
about that
it's really where I'm coming from is we don't know how long Cat can sustain what he's doing.
Well, let's talk about what he's doing first. Let's talk
And
about what
no,
he's doing first.
yes,
And
because
then we'll get
what you're
into.
gonna say is exactly why I believe Knicks win the series. Cat deserves MVP.
So here's what I say. And there's a couple things that I want to touch on. Right. First off, you said about the first game score being deceptive and the second game score being more reflective of what the series has looked like. I would say that both endings gave you a true reflection of what this series looks like. And here's what I mean by that. What we saw in both games was, what does the last 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 90 seconds look like, right? So in game one, well, coming into this series, for me, it's been, listen, we got the best closer in the league. We got the composure to get it done in the fourth, right? So when you look at game one, you have a game where, again, the Spurs took a 1 point lead with 90 seconds left. We're almost two
Mhm.
games in a row of identical, right? Spurs take a 1 point lead with 90 seconds left. Uh, Brunson gets the offensive rebound, tap out three, and then it snowballs from there. It's Nick's execution in the last 90 seconds where the Spurs can't get a shot off. And that's how you go from being down by one, being up by one, to being down by 10.
But
Game
here's
two,
the thing, right? No, before you get to game two,
okay.
this is what boded in Brunson's favor. The fact that there was a worry about the injury potentially in the first half and making sure they sat him, and normally in minutes they wouldn't have, preserved him enough, and understanding that that injury wasn't actually in terms of that was excitable to where it may have been a detriment throughout the rest of the game, that actually allowed him to perform even better in the fourth quarter than he normally does. That's why I index in terms of what the game two was more towards what your normal game plan was in terms of how you guys played Brunson, the distribution of his minutes throughout the game. The distribution was skewed normally from what it would have been in game one because of trying to assess and preserve what it may have happened from that potential knee injury, which allowed for the more in terms of more minutes where he may have sat maybe in the earlier in that fourth to charge him up and get him ready. He was full-blown able to be that fourth quarter guy and closer guy that you guys expected him to be, even more so because he was able to get that rest previously in that first half.
What I think is equal part takeaway is, in this series and what we've seen thus far, there is a difference in the athleticism of the Spurs and the execution of the Knicks right now. We are leaning on our ability to run our offense and get good system oriented shots, right? Through whatever defense the Spurs is throwing out at us. The Spurs, on the other hand, once we locked up on those Champagne open threes, their offense has come from, are we taller or are we stronger than the Knicks? And so from through two games, the pendulum between execution versus athleticism, execution is winning out. And that's been the hallmark of this team since, well, when we've had the spurts of success throughout the season, and it has gone up to an even another level since we started on this streak in the playoffs. And honestly, that where you're looking at today, uh, we us being able to achieve this is the reason why I want, of course, pick the Knicks to win the series, but also because the reason why I felt it didn't matter. Well, the reason I wanted to play the Spurs over the Thunder, to be honest, is because I felt that we could match up with them.
I told you, you bet you better pray that the Spurs win because it was both matchups and experience. But I mean,
We're not talking, and I'm saying it because Hans is probably about to bring it up. We haven't talked about yet what the biggest key to this series has been so far, and it's been holistically the ability to guard Wemby straight up without having to double, etc. Specifically, it's been the work of Karl Anthony Towns.
I'm going to disagree with you. It's coaching issue because the reason why he's been able to, well, we can get into that whenever you want to broach that subject, is because there's one player on the Spurs team and they started to make the adjustment in game two as to why that you guys are able to execute on that. is because the point guard play that they developed, the point guard play system that they developed around Wemby to be able to do that is hindered and hobbled because of a coaching decision with who he has with the starting as their point guard.
And I think you're alluding to the Dylan Harper discussion, which is
I don't think it
listen,
makes a difference.
It does. They did in mid-game too. You saw what happened when they played him in the fourth quarter with De'Aaron Fox as opposed to game one with just De'Aaron Fox running the point.
I don't think it makes a difference. Here's why I don't think it makes a difference, because with Dylan on the floor, they failed to execute multiple times. It's funny, you would never think in years a series, especially a final series that encompasses the Spurs, and the Spurs would be the lesser team in terms of execution. The Spurs are known for execution. That's what they hang their hat on, fundamentals and executing and having a system. This is not the Spurs of the old. They don't have a system. This is which is what we discussed earlier before we got on air, where the double-edged sword of the youth comes in.
Yes.
The youth that the San Antonio Spurs has allows them to stay into games that execution-wise or X's and O's wise they shouldn't be in. And the Knicks are laser locked in focus. Now, granted, yes, there are multiple times where, well, not even multiple times. You can honestly say that Dylan Harper so far in this series has outperformed De'Aaron Fox. But that's not the reason, though. That's not the reason. I can't put that. If you change that, I don't think that exponentially changes it for the Spurs. What happens is when you watch in the flow of the game of the Spurs, when Wemby stops being aggressive, when they push him out the paint, right, which the Knicks have been great at.
Yes.
Their offense looks hobbled and disoriented. Castle, he doesn't know what to do. He can't get his game off. He's a turnover machine. They don't have that guy, right, that they can throw to, or a set play that they run to get solid execution. So they look disjointed. They look like deer in the headlights at times.
Here's the difference. What I'll tell you with the Fox versus Harper on the court in terms of who is a creator. Dylan Harper is way more of a creator currently, as we've seen. Again, maybe because back to Fox's inserts, but yeah, where with clear times where it's like, okay, cool, Wemby's may he be out on the paint, which allows an opportunity for the guard bringing it up to clearly go in and crash because they're also watching Wemby in terms of what his next move may be. We've seen Fox not take that opportunity, but Harper did. Which also very much changes in terms of where you have to respect the dynamic of the game.
Right, but what I'm saying is that to me is it's too small of a incident for me watching it holistic wise to say, hey, put him in the starting lineup, it's going to change it all. It's too small of an instant because if he was doing it, honestly, if he was doing it, let's keep it on the Spurs theme, right?
Yeah.
If he was doing it Manu Ginobili style,
I'm sure I would agree with you.
100%. You get what I'm saying? Here's the difference. Dylan Harper, he's creating and scoring in monumental moments, which is highlighting it. Does that make sense?
Yes,
to me,
I know what you're
he's been more impressive on the defensive end.
Yes.
He's been more impressive on the defensive end. What's happening is why it's being highlighted is because the Spurs are so disjointed and don't have a system.
But the system around what Fox is normally able to do and knowing that he's injured, that is what I'm saying. Is
that's what I'm arguing. There is no system around Fox.
But you tell me that like there's no more dynamics if Fox isn't able to score. Like
I guess here's what I'm saying.
Okay, you're saying that the fact is they haven't nailed down an established system that does it not necessarily Wemby focused and utilizes their point guard play in a way that can flourish with or without him on the floor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what you're seeing is a symptom of a bigger problem, right? So like
Understood.
you know how people talk about, oh, you're treating the symptom, but you need to get down to the.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what you're seeing with Fox. That's a symptom of a bigger problem.
Agreed, but if you didn't see a clear difference in terms of the coaching strategy from quarter 4 in game 1 and quarter 4 in game 2, and the success that they had in incorporating, even though they didn't sub Fox out, Harper is actually now playing side by side with Fox to also give the defensive aspect that you're talking about, and also being able to contribute on the offensive end and alleviating some pressure from Fox. then I would fully admit, because again, like you said, Champagne was rendered basically, you know what I mean, useless in game 2. You know what I mean? Like, yo, we expect, like, this is a guy that you come in and wants to give you this explosive, offense, hit these threes like you want them. Like, yo, we didn't expect like a Jose Alvarado on their end. Like, come in, give you like defensive dog, give you these threes when you need them. Like a McBride, come in and hit these shots when you need them. If these guys are necessarily being rendered useless, right, quote unquote, or like your Keldon Johnsons is not, because your Vassals, you know what I mean, your Keldon Johnsons, your Champagnes, you're gonna try to hope one of these guys as your home get on. But the guys who've been consistent, the change in strategy and having both Fox and Harper in game 2, I think also bodes well in terms of saying, okay, we understand that we can't just have Fox. Fox was getting cooked by Brunson all game, like game 1, quarter 4. Brunson was cooking him. Bring in Harper, have him in game 4, in game 2, quarter 4, him on the floor with him. You're at least able to put some stop gaps into some of the issues that you've seen before, and you're not seeing the same amount of turnovers that you had with Cassell.
So I'll say one thing before we jump into the look ahead. You brought up game 2, fourth quarter. And if you're a Knicks fan, you're looking at that through 2 lenses. And we'll find out what that lens is as the series progresses. On one hand, you say the Spurs stared the end of their season in the face and bounced back, right? On the other hand, you hope, if you're a Knicks fan, you're hoping what really happened was the Knicks solved the Spurs in the third and in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. And then they saw, oh, we got them. And then they took their foot off the gas. If that Fox Brunson scrum doesn't even happen, does this remain a double-digit win? Or do the Spurs regroup and bounce back, right? Because I think in the moment, yes, in the moment, we took a minute of, oh, let's uppercut them now, right? Versus let's keep doing what we're doing, because what we're doing is suffocating them, right? And so that's where I'm very interested as we go into game 3 and game 4. What was that fourth quarter, and what does it mean for the rest of the series?
All right, guys, let's move on to the next segment where we're looking ahead. So, what does the Knicks and the Spurs need to do moving forward to these next games? Let's start off with the Knicks, given that they're up ahead 2-0. There shouldn't be too many adjustments that you guys need to do. Ev, what do you guys need to do moving forward?
Well, no, I think there's plenty of, if not adjustments, continuing to fine tune, right? So the biggest key to this series right now is that the discipline that we've shown and how we defend Wemby has neutralized all of the movement that takes place outside of Wemby, right? And it's also neutralized a lot of the momentum breaking, right? The momentum causing lobs and dunks, etc. The reason Wemby has been so frustrated so far, in my opinion, is that we've neutralized 50% of his game, the easy part, right?
100%.
And we're doing it while not doubling. We're doing it by maintaining discipline. Right. And we're not doing it. We're being physical without having to do it the way OKC was doing it. OKC was leaning too far in the physical, right, to overcome a deficiency of their team. We're playing through a strength while still maintaining our wings playing cornerbacks.
Just say your bigs not soft like Chet.
Okay? Our bigs ain't soft like Chet. Absolutely, absolutely. So what we have to do, one, from an adjustment standpoint, make sure that we, one, forecast and anticipate how the Spurs are going to change the spots through which Wemby gets the ball, and honestly stay disciplined in our defense and live with the results of it. You'll see the big change between game 1 and game 2. We were cheating too far in off of Wemby's movement, and that was allowing those corner threes and those wing threes in the first half of game 1. We stayed balanced in game 2, and we were able to cut off the faucet more.
Staying elbow down on that definitely neutralizes him, because I And listen, I'll use a quote. I was familiar with your game, Mike Brown, but that adjustment right there on game 2, cutting Wemby off the edges, elbow down, staying down on those shooters, allowing him to create, and you'll live with that because although he has handles for a big man, it's still loose enough, and you still have the large Mikal Bridges wingspan, OG wingspan, even Cat sometimes to possibly get a steal. Trust that. Stay down, elbow down on the corner shooters. Live with the herky jerky of his handles is still a little loose. Man, I think it's been honestly X's and O's
Textbook.
wise. I'm like,
Textbook.
yo, shout out to you guys because at the end of the day, it is X's and O's. And you guys looked at his shot chart and you said, man, 70 to 80% of his shots are coming from inside the paint. Keep him out the paint. We'll live with the rest. Stay down. It's so textbook. It's hilarious. And what makes it
you know
funny
why you
is
say that?
it's an inverse. It's an inverse. That's what the Spurs did to y'all in 99.
Not even that. Also, it's just like this is literally what, and exactly why you said that. This is what a quintessential black big man is supposed to do.
No, like
you know what I mean? And because
that was a shot at Hardenstein. I heard that there. That was a shot at Hardenstein. Okay, what quintessential black man, big man supposed to do? Talk your talk, Luke. Talk your talk.
Sorry, Hardenstein, whatever it is. You know what I mean? That's mad Jewish. But I'm just saying, like, yo, at the end of the day, what you know what I mean? What the NBA has moved towards in terms of what it is in terms of big man. This is like I was just saying. This is the converse, man. This is inverted thinking of how you would defend the big man of today's NBA.
Yeah, no. And shout out to the Knicks for making those adjustments, and also too, shout out to Cat. I got to give it up to him. Like Lou said it. I said it to other friends. What's up, Jay Reed, who's a Knicks fan listening? I said it to him. Like Cat should win MVP.
Yeah,
because Brunson has been consistent from tip ball of the season to the end of the season. Brunson has been consistent. Whether Cat has been up or down or not, one thing you can count on, like Ev says, is fourth quarter Brunson. He's going to deliver. He's going to carry. Now, we all know I think Brunson's going to get MVP if they win, right? Cool.
Nah,
but
I don't think it'll happen.
Well,
because if you talk about who neutralizes the best player, who people would regard as the best player on the floor, in terms of looking at Wemby, it's not going to be Brunson.
I don't think Cat will get it because MVP traditionally, playoffs, finals MVP traditionally has been those who are showing up in the big moments. Think about when
Iguodala instead of Stephen Curry. Oh my God!
Because Iguodala showed up. He showed up in big moments when LeBron was supposed to score.
Didn't show up in the biggest moments that they needed.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But think about it, right? Think about how Cat doesn't have a momentous block of Wendy, and you get what I'm saying? Like it doesn't.
What about the boom on Wemby? What are we talking about?
I'm talking about defensively. Can we talk about the defensive side?
I mean, we talking Cat. We got to talk it all right now. But yes,
okay, talk your talk. But here's what I'm saying with the differences, because when you're watching it, Wemby is being basically neutralized, but he's not neutralized by Cat alone, is what I'm saying. He's being neutralized by the wings of the Knicks bailing him out. When Iguodala was against LeBron, that was a straight up one-on-one, mano-a-mano. You get what I'm saying? It gave you the whole championship prize fighting.
Here's the difference, though. What Cat is also doing offensively, in terms of being crucial offensively. This is if anything, that's what makes Cat more so the MVP than on the defensive end. The cruciality that he has offensively and actually executing, and where it is in terms of where even indexing better on defense is the fact that he is staying out of foul trouble, so he can execute offensively. Is why he's the X factor.
Not game one.
We don't have to talk about those bogus foul calls. Like
not game one. They never stayed out of foul trouble. What are y'all talking about?
In game one, he stayed out of foul trouble. In game
he
two,
stayed out of foul trouble. He stayed out of foul trouble because I had a bet on it. He stayed out of foul trouble for the first half, and then he got 3 fouls in a row on the. Y'all just your revision.
No, this is what he did.
Foul trouble is when you got to come out
top
the game
of the third quarter and you got your fourth foul. That's foul trouble.
Cat had to come out the game on the second half because he racked up his fouls. Now, albeit you guys were in control when that happened, but he still had to come out the game. Y'all out here like I don't have bets
All right,
on this. Y'all can fight me on this all you
this is what
want.
we saying. No, it's not. You talking literal, but we talking figurative. What Cat has avoided is the dumb fouls that have plagued him his whole career. That's
I'm
what we
agreeing.
saying.
And
His discipline on both sides of the court through this entire series so far has been incredible.
It's been masterclass. He's X Factor.
Here's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you, and I think Cat should get MVP. I don't think he'll get MVP, but I think he should get MVP because I think he is the game changer for the Knicks. What I'm also saying is, let's also put his foul troubles into proper perspective.
No. I'm stopping this right now. I am stopping this right now. I am tired of your New Jersey slander. All right, you won't give Big Jers, Big Bodega, Big Carl Anthony Towns credit ever. It stops.
I gave him credit.
Here.
I gave him credit.
One power warning.
I gave him credit.
That was true. I apologize.
Yeah, I gave him credit. What y'all talking about? He plays like this is what bothers me about. Since we won't go there, this is what bothers me about y'all New York fans.
Let's go there.
He starts to play marginal defense. And now it's a masterclass. And now
he's not Patrick Ewing.
He's the man. And now he's defensive player of the year. And just because he's actually playing average defense,
what he's supposed to do.
He's just all it is. Now he's actually getting fouls like he's quote unquote supposed to do. Although technically still in trial, but now he's doing it great. Like y'all gotta relax. Cat is actually playing to his potential. He's actually playing to his potential, and we're out here lauding him. Like, come on, man, y'all. Let's put it in perspective.
You know
I'll let you tell me to relax today.
No, because you know why?
Maybe your last time this season, but I'll relax.
He's not the star player of the team. Brunson's clearly the star player of the team. You don't have to wear that. So now that you could be Robin, you know what I mean? Basically, with no recourse, yeah, go ahead, yo. Your scrutiny level is lower because everybody's lauding you for what you should do. Because in Minnesota, when this was your primary job, this is why you was getting hate. Now you can play Robin, so this is why you're gonna get a little bit of love because they have revisionist history. Don't get it started, like I'm not being arbitrary by any means. I understand what it is, but I can recognize the fact that he is currently the X factor and why they're able to do that. But it's because he has the luxury with the guys that's on the floor. Keeley being Jalen Brunson.
He was Robin in Minnesota too.
To who? Gobert?
No, to Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, he was Robin.
What were we about to say?
For his last year, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say this, and then I'll let Ed speak. A prime example, and I can't remember whether if it was Legs on the call or if it was Mike Breen. It was a Cat Wemby possession. Cat moved his feet in a defensive stand, and they were like, "Oh man, such great defense." I'm like, he just moved his feet like he was supposed to. Like it's in my head, I'm like,
this is basic basketball that they teach you.
He's been that bad defensively that when he actually does something,
the bar's low. The bar's low, brother.
Yeah, the bar is that low.
The bar is in hell. The bar is
Here's the thing.
Yeah, that was it. I was like, yo, man, this is.
Here's the thing, and then I want to make a point. But I'm gonna address that first. And Chuck and Shaq at halftime of game 2 laid it out well. I'm gonna say it a little differently though. Wemby has shown you his dominance all playoffs and really all season, right? Mm-hmm. And to the point where it was a foregone conclusion that Wemby was gonna dominate, and the Knicks were just going to have to figure it out. The reason Cat's getting so much praise, right, is because he stood toe-to-toe with Wemby and for the most part has outplayed him. And it's been on both sides of the ball. Like he's held up defensively against him. And nobody expected that. So, I mean, you can nitpick the fouls. You can nitpick, okay, he's just doing what he's supposed to.
Outplayed him is crazy, dude. Outplayed him is crazy.
More of the collective defense.
Okay, defensively, I mean, yes.
Thank you, Ev. Come on,
It's a collective defense because Wemby one-on-one is going to cook Cat.
Come on,
He's
10 times out
more
of 10,
more like
sucked it.
out hooked him because I see a lot of hooks. You know.
If he's outplayed him offensively, I'll give you that. Outplayed
but
Wemby defensively is
no.
Okay,
wild to me.
he has,
It's
but y'all
wild
acting
to me.
like Wemby
Wemby
was
continues
not.
to change the course of anybody's defense if they think there's a fast break that even remotely is close while he's on even if he's at the 3-point line.
And that's fair.
I
That's
kept
fair.
hearing
That's
how
fair.
Cat has a step on Wemby, how he's looking good, looking fast. I'm like, yeah, I would get a step too if I hook my man and I get past him like that.
No, they don't call it chicken wing anymore, man. They don't call it chicken wing anymore.
Yo,
I won't go back to
that's
this
a perfect
MVP
example.
discussion real quick though. I won't go back to this MVP discussion. So yes, to this point, I would say Cat has been. I still think I kind of agree with Hans. Brunson may get it, but here's why. The same way the Spurs right now are in the lab trying to unlock any which way that Wemby can get going. The Knicks are looking at game 2 and it's like, okay, listen, Brunson didn't have a good game. Yes, everybody can cook, everybody can flow, but we haven't had the Brunson games yet, right? We had the Brunson quarter and some sprinkle, right, in game 1. But if the Knicks do what they're supposed to do, right, and really close us out like I'm hoping to, is because Brunson really goes off in the Garden.
Are you
And that would flip
wondering?
the MVP.
Are you wondering how much? Are you concerned about how much longer can you guys rely on your other players to carry you guys, or you think you guys are so locked in that this is by design? Meaning, to your point, where Brunson hasn't had a dominant 4 quarters, right? He's just had a dominant 4th quarter, right? So are you saying that like we want more Brunson dominance, or are you okay with this design? Because by design, you're saying you guys have been working on this for 4 years, building on a quality squad, right? A more leveled, even keeled squad. Are you okay with this design, or is your basically your inclination saying stars show up in the finals? We need the stars to show up fully in the finals.
The only concern I have about the design, you're on mute, Lou. The only concern I have about the design is that I'm a tortured Knicks fan. That's the only
That's the only
concern
torture.
that I
Okay.
have.
Fair,
Okay.
fair.
The reason from a Knicks perspective, from an X's
you
and
go.
O's perspective, what we've been doing in this playoffs, and the reason I've loved what we've been doing is Brunson has been getting everything within the flow of the offense, right? And that's what's been so crazy
hasn't
about
been forcing
unlocking
it.
everything. You want to double me? Mikal coming right across. Boom. We knocking
Hey.
you from the wing. You want to collapse on me on the drive? OG Landry. Spray. Boom. We've had an answer for everything so that everybody can get theirs cleanly within the flow of the offense. And from that, I'm not concerned. I think that's going to continue happening.
So
Now,
I know
I just have Knicks paranoia.
here's the thing though. I don't know. I wanted to jump you on this, but it's only because it's like Hans.
That's why your mic cut off. Ain't nobody want. Ain't
You know what
nobody
it
want to
is?
hear you jump me. Now you can tell us.
Here's the
Lou.
wild part. I actually was
Listen.
in support of you because I was like, if anything, you talking about these role players coming back home to play these next 2 games at home. So if there's any time where the role players are really going to if you're expecting them to show up, it's back home with the energy of coming back 2-0. This is
let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is right now. Our bench has severely outplayed the Spurs bench, with the exception of what Dylan Harper has brought.
Severely is understated. Severely is understated. It's
nobody that
wild.
wasn't my voice was saying that coming into this series. I got receipts.
Wow.
None of us believe. None of us. Seeing believe.
Putting cases on all you. No, I'm sorry.
All right, we got to shift to the Spurs side for these last 2 minutes of this segment. What do the Spurs need to do to get back into this series? Can they get back? What adjustments do they need to make to make this a series?
Pay the refs to put Cat and Paul.
Pray. That's his Nike campaign, man.
Look, get back to their offensive flow. Figure out how to get back into your offensive flow with what is being thrown at you from the Knicks. They can get back into the offensive flow in terms of how their guard play back in fluid motion, being able to rock off the pick and roll like they've normally been able to do before, being able to be the better perimeter team, which the Knicks in this series have 1,000% been from their perimeter play, has been crushing San Antonio. they can get if they can get back into that flow, then you start to see this be a series again. If they can't get back into that, we're looking at a very short series right here.
Wemby just needs to stop being a 3-point line. A lot of these newer players, especially,
It's because that's all Wemby's getting.
I know, but
all that Wemby's getting.
It's like Kristaps, right? Like Kristaps back in the day. It's like even like Cat before Cat even like went to New York. Cat was always in the 3-point line. These bigger players need to get their ass in the post.
Wemby's known for that. Wemby's not been able to get that opportunity.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Wemby does not have a post game. He is Bam right now. Wemby does not have a post game.
LeBron 2011 moment.
Thank you. He does not have a post game. Nobody can stop a player from going and establishing position on the post. That's not the Knicks game plan. Wemby is staying out there, right? The Knicks have exceptional, like Minnesota played them, right? Wing players, long wingspan wing players who affect Wemby's dribble. Wemby doesn't have a post game to where he can go and get a bucket. What he needs to do, in my opinion,
do you need a post game when you're 5 inches taller than everyone?
But he doesn't have it, bro.
How's he getting his points in the post?
I'll tell you how.
He can rise over people.
Finishes.
Right.
That's it. He doesn't. They don't throw it to him in off the block. When have you seen that? He doesn't get consistently off the block. When he scores in the post, it's off of a lob, off of a tip dunk. He doesn't have a drop step, pump fake. You get in there. He needs to get in the lab with Joel real quick, man. You imagine? Man, he needs.
You said Joel?
In the summer, do whatever you want to do.
You said Joel?
In the summer. He said not right now.
But this is the key. This is the key right here because they're trying to figure out how they can get that done within the next 2 games, right? If they don't figure that out in the next 2 games, this is
So Akeem is there today.
Oh, listen, Akeem already sent the text, boy. All right, Akeem already sent the text. One thing I say that they could do from an X and O standpoint that I haven't seen them do once is put Wemby as the initiator in the screen and roll. They haven't had him initiate once to try to get.
They did it in game one. They did it in game one where they were bringing him to the top of the key, and Fox was coming around, but Fox wasn't effective, so they went away from that scheme.
But what I'm saying is they're bringing the other person around as a ball handler. I'm saying Wemby be the ball handler in the screen and pick and roll consistently to get some movement off of the primary defender on him. Force the Knicks into trying to switch in that. That's one thing I would try if I were them. But don't listen to this.
But you're missing the end half of that. Where is he rolling to? He needs to roll to the basket.
But no, not rolling that. What I'm saying is, we've taken away the roll, is what I'm saying. For him as the roller on the pick and roll, we've taken that away.
So here's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with your point, right? But when you're initiating it, right, get the initial defender off, right? Don't stop at the I know he's not the roller. Don't stop at the 3. Go towards the basket is what I'm saying.
You're talking about more of a
because
slacker.
When he gets to the basket, they have to double Wemby. Now he can throw it to
Champagny,
Vassell, whoever's on the corner. So what I'm saying is, if he's the roller, meaning the one without the ball, roll towards the basket. If he's the initiator, the one with the ball, once you get that initial defender off of you, don't stop and pull up. Drive to the basket.
Nothing they can do.
But they've been collapsing on that. They've been collapsing on that. This is why you've been seeing the kickouts. That's why you've been seeing the kickouts to the multiple rotations, trying to get that perimeter game going. That has happened.
It's happening. What I'm saying is they're stopping too early. So if I'm doing it right here at the 3-point line, I'm giving the Knicks credit. I'm letting them off easy.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Okay.
But if I get a foot in the paint, now I'm stretched. Yes, I'm stressing the Knicks defense.
They gotta collapse.
It's harder to roll.
My wings
exactly.
Open.
It's harder to
Switch
to recover. If you're coming from the paint, whereas if you're on the outer edges.
But exactly what the Knicks have been able to do successfully.
Shout out to the Knicks defensively.
I gotta give it to him. I was like, wow, for a Royal immediately just come in and have impact. Wow. You guys have the scheme has been done right. Shout out to the next
guys. Let's move on to the last segment. What would this championship mean to New York City? Who hasn't seen it since 79, right?
73.
73?
53 years.
73 years. Let's start off with New York City, man. I know we've seen it all over social media, the huge watch parties, Knicks fans jumping Spurs fans and Hawk fans too. But yeah, so what would this mean to New York City?
Listen, 53 years since the championship. Officially, in my lifetime, I've never seen the Knicks win a championship. I've seen them in the finals twice. I talked about a tortured fan base. 53 years or a full lifetime is a long time to build up a lot of scars. I remember being a little kid and blaming O.J. Simpson for us losing the '94 finals, and I brought that up on here before. We were up 2-1 then. I remember going into the '99 finals against the Spurs, where I'm like, the Spurs cheated to get Tim Duncan in the draft. This feels unfair. And the series going exactly like it felt. Remember all those years, bro, of just teams that y'all don't remember the Lou Admonson Knicks, okay? Y'all don't remember y'all don't remember these rosters, man. All right, y'all don't remember the Andrea Bargnani Knicks, all right? These were some tough years, man.
Is it the Frank Ntilikina Knicks?
Right. Listen, you don't remember having hope in Frankie Nixon and Kevin Knox, all right? Y'all wasn't there for that. So
I know about the Kevin Knox
Felton Knicks.
Nah, Kevin Knox was a high draft pick too, bro.
Listen,
Kevin Knox is what like a Michael Porter Jr. is.
No, Hans was there that night when I told him.
Yo, Kevin Knox had the same height that Michael Porter Jr. did.
Shout out to Kevin Knox. I hope he's doing well in life. He will not get a ring for this year, okay? But you know what it means for the city, man. You seeing it play out. You know, this is what sports fandom is about. This is why we all watch sports, right? To go through the years for that moment when your team actually gets the success. Only Lakers reference of this pod. Some of us are spoiled that we can look back on multiple memories, right, of years and throughout the years, right, when you've had different experiences of success, right. Most don't get that. So right now, you want to talk about attentive. There's a reason Game 1 had a 90% increase in viewers than Game 1 of last year, because 11 million people in New York was watching this game, okay? So, I mean, it would mean everything. Now, everything that I just said leading up to that is why, as confident as I felt coming into this series, as I felt since we've been on this run, as I feel ready to watch the game, Game 3 tonight when y'all hear this, is the same reason Knicks fans are paranoid at the back of their head. It's like I'm gonna just say it rudely, we've had our nuts kicked so many times, bro, and the rug pulled from under us so many times that, like, being up 2-0, you're looking around the corner like, is this gonna be the nonsense again? Right. So
is that what you felt when Brunson got hurt on Game 1, and you were like,
here we go. The meme game was crazy. Everybody was like,
and I'm not gonna, I didn't feel it. I was sitting there watching them come back from 14, and it was like, okay, and it really, when Brunson hit that shot, I think he tied it back, right, the step back. It was like a reminder.
The push.
Oh yeah, we got
signature thing, man.
We got him. We got him. That's what's different. We have him, and so it was fitting that he got the steal, the headiness off of a ball-headed play by Wemby. It was fitting, right? Because it's like, hey, even in playing bad, we've got that guy. So yeah, what it means for the city, man, is you see the unity on social media. You see, the threats that, listen, we burning this bit down if we win, right? You see it all. It's because it means that much. It definitely means.
You guys are gonna pull a page out of the Philadelphia Eagles book, and it doesn't matter if you win or not.
Don't compare us to anything in Philly.
Listen, I'm gonna let you know whether you win or not. The city of New York will be burned down. If you guys win, the city will be burned down. If you guys lose, the city will be burned down. You can decide that you want to disagree, but you're going to be lying. But this is where you and the city of Philadelphia are one and the same. You must agree.
There's a
in trouble
reckoning that's
regardless.
happening.
Right. The city's in trouble regardless.
Yo.
We're either gonna be smiling or frowning. But
Thank you. Only person
Same
that
outcome.
can save New York is Batman at this point. So the city's gonna burn down regardless.
Gotham City has to be saved by.
Right. You're not wrong.
Oh
You know.
man. Okay. Got you. We know that San Antonio is nowhere near the size and has the history that New York has. But what do you think this means to necessarily Wemby's, legacy moving forward and him if they win this championship, if they pull it out, or if they lose, honestly, since they're on the
I
losing
think
end right now?
I mean, either way, it solidifies him. I think as the face of the league, right? The conversation around it. I think the fact that he got to the finals, and if for some reason they were to pull this out, cements him as the face.
Got you.
You're
And
somebody.
let's
No, because you not only established a culture within the city in which you came into, which realistically no other star has done. In the recent, when we talk about the names of Jaws, the Ants, and so on and so forth, they have not created an identity of them in terms of them and themselves, how they created a culture in their city.
Is this Wemby's Shaq arc?
I think it's just the beginning of it. I think that this is closer to what he was establishing in Orlando before he got to LA. And I think if he decides
he got swept by Hakeem. So
yeah. I'm just saying,
is this his Shaq arc?
the reason why I say that is I don't think he leaves. I think because of how involved that Pop still is with the organization. I think that they're gonna
it's just
build
like Shaq, and he's gonna go the same route too.
To the Lakers?
Pete, this is your fault. This is your fault.
Oh, my bad. Fault. I gave him an alley, man. I gave him an alley.
Your fault, yeah.
You're trading everybody but Luka for Wemby, huh?
He might even trade Luka.
There's only one way for him to win a championship. It always goes through the same spot.
Oh my God. I'm going on mute.
History repeats itself.
I will say I'm glad, and I'm gonna say we're getting them out the way. I'm glad we're getting them out the way this year. 26-year-old Wemby with 23-year-old Dylan Harper.
The average age of the team is what?
3 years from now, right? 3 years from now, this team, not even 3 years from now.
Not even three, bro. They look like OKC.
I
said it before. They look like OKC prior to.
Now, what I will say is though, I'm taking me a little shot. You can go run with the monks and swim with the Navy SEALs as much as you want to, but you better do some push-ups over the summer. I tell you that, because you got to get your strength up some if you're going to fulfill your potential, Wemby. And I shouldn't say fulfill your potential, but only from the stance that is limitless for him. But I think they're right. This is. Losing in the finals, yes, would be devastating for anybody, but it's a win-win for the Spurs right now because you see, you see, you've
already proven your potential. You've proven your potential. It's not even like a can they? We've seen them do it. They're not. This is not going to be the first, and this won't be the last. I see them in OKC going back and forth in terms of West for a minute because you talk about the youth and really the construct. And really the depth of these two elite teams and them following the same trajectory as such. And then like we also know OKC has a top pick coming in this next draft as well. So just knowing that they also can retool for next year, this is going to be a fun rivalry that we see in the Western Conference. What we see in the West, who knows? But I'm telling you, these two young teams, it was just a matter of who was going to make it to the finals. And if they can continue. Obviously, the Spurs don't have the same, experience that that OKC does, which may have, made things a little bit different in terms of the series. But just knowing that when they do come back again, because I do believe they will, it's going to be a different Spurs team that you're going to see. And good luck.
I will say to that though, since you bring that up, bringing OKC into this for a second, it does speak to how none of this is guaranteed, right? And not even, I'm gonna leave health completely out of this, right? Your success is not guaranteed. Remember, LeBron made it in 2007, and we thought that was the beginning of the LeBron era. And 4 years later, he wasn't even on his team anymore. Jokic and them, when they won in 23, I think, right? 22, 23, we thought, oh man, who's gonna beat this team? Haven't seen
Agreed.
them since. Giannis got his one, right? And hasn't even been a factor really from a playoff standpoint since. So you talk about, we talk about it a foregone conclusion that it's going to be the Spurs and OKC for the next few years. If you're the Spurs, you're like, hey, we got Wemby, and yes, this is a cheat code that you just can't solve, right?
Agreed.
But any other team,
no. Bring up OKC in terms of what their trajectory was and how many times they've reached in terms of these moments, whether it was the conference or the actual finals itself. So just like on the flip side of what you were just saying with these other teams, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they're following that same trajectory, yes, it's not guaranteed, but in terms of their chances, a lot higher than the rest of the teams.
One finals in 3 years, Thunder, I can divide. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I liken it to, I like the simile that you did with LeBron, right? Because although we've had the KDs and the Steph Currys in the league, I think Wemby's the player that, in my opinion, has matched the hype of LeBron as far as transcendence, something we've never seen before since LBJ. And, like you said, LeBron made it to the finals 8 straight times, 10 total, right? And look how many he has to show for it. So like you said, it's not guaranteed, but also like when you see a transcendent player like that, you can kind of almost say there's going to be a couple final appearances, right? In his career. You just don't know when they're going to show up. But I do believe though we are seeing like I said before, Wemby Shaq arc. It may not go exactly like him where he goes to another team, but I'm saying that, he's going to be a dominant, if not the most dominant player in the league for years to come. And it's going to be great basketball to watch, y'all. I'm really excited about it. Before we wrap up, any last predictions or anything left unsaid about the Knicks or the Spurs for these next games coming up?
Spurs in 6.
Agreed, Pop Mamba.
I said Knicks in 6. I'll leave that as the worst case scenario.
Ooh,
the internet is undefeated, so I can't take credit for this, but I can't let the recording end without saying,
here we go.
My mayor is Muslim. My bagels are Jewish. My Christian Dior. Nixon.
Say it. Oh, all right.
Yeah, because I hope you weren't thinking we were going to say
We're all rooting for the Spurs, Devin. We're trying to save New York City from burning down. Trying to save you from yourself.
Man. All right, y'all. You heard it here. You heard it here from Ev. As always, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Check us out on our social medias. Interact with us. Let us know. Do you think it's Knicks in 4 or is it the Spurs in 7? All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys. Peace.
What's up, guys, and thanks for listening. I want you to do 2 things for me right now. 1, give this episode a thumbs up, and 2, be sure to subscribe to our channel. You can also follow us on all the socials at the 3on3 Podcast and send us an email at the 3on3podcast@gmail.com. We appreciate you, and tune in next week.